There is other next to 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 there is other next to
Let's start the study circle with a prayer to Swami. Oh. Dear Swami, we are so grateful to be able to meet here together in your presence today. While we are here together studying your word in your Bhagavatha Vahini, let's start the study circle with a prayer that you open our ears and hearts to whatever it is you want us Swami. To learn. We are so grateful to be able to meet here together in your spiritual journey. While we are here together studying your word in your Bhagavatha Vahini, just a few study circle with a prayer that you open our ears to and hearts kind of follow the whatever it is you want us Swami. Please mute your cell phones. Each one able put them and help us together on your spiritual journey. Whatever it is that you need to do, studying your sure that it doesn't ring. Your Bhagavatha Vahini, just a few let's say open our ears focused on the topic, follow the whatever it is that you ask questions that arise. Mute your this is not put them and help us together on your spiritual journey. Whatever it is that you open-minded do, and it will be best to practice to try to be just a few let's say open our ears focused on the topic, follow the whatever it is that you ask questions that arise. Mute your this is not that, but then we can move on. I just want to whatever it is that you open-minded do, and it will be better to practice Bhagavatha Vahini just a few let's say open our ears focused on talking about whatever it is that you ask questions that arise. Mute your this is not that, but then we can move on. Discourse on whatever it is that you open-minded do, and it will be better to practice Bhagavatha Vahini just a few let's say open our ears focused on talking about whatever it is that you ask questions that arise. Mute your this is not that, but then we can move on. Discourse on whatever it is that you open-minded do, and it will be better to practice Bhagavatha Vahini just a few let's say especially focused on talking about whatever it is that you ask questions that arise. Mute your this is not that, but then we can move on. Discourse on so whatever it is that you open-minded do, and it will be better to practice Bhagavatha Vahini just a few let's say especially focused on talking about whatever it is that you ask questions that arise. Mute your this is not Vahini is selected as the smaller one. And so little about the testing personality. We have been talking about
You don't have, you just realize that figure when you stand in front of it, don't see the water because you are in Saksi. But you will come and it's a vanilla, you walk on the ground, you say, oh, what is there? I can see. The breeze is in this state. You don't have, you don't realize that although there is land in front of it, and you don't see the water because you are in Saksi. But you will come and it's a vanilla, you walk on the ground, you say, oh, what is there? I can see. The breeze is in this state. You don't have, you don't realize that although there is land in front of it, and you don't see the water because you are in Saksi. But you will come and it's a vanilla, you walk on the ground, you say, oh, what is there? I can see. The breeze is in this state. You don't have, you don't realize that although there is land in front of it, mirror is there. You don't see a reflection in that mirror. You will come and it's a vanilla, you walk on the ground. It has no consciousness. It has no I can see. The breeze is in this state. Because you cannot just realize that although there is land in front of it, mirror is there. Because you don't see a reflection in that mirror. You will come and it's a vanilla, you walk on the ground. It has no consciousness. It has no I can see. The breeze is in this state. Because you cannot just realize that although there is land in front of it, mirror is there. Because you don't see a reflection in that mirror. You will come and it's a vanilla, you walk on the ground. It has no consciousness. It has no I can see. The breeze is in this state. Because you cannot just realize that although there is land in front of it, mirror is there. Because you don't see a reflection in that mirror. You will come and it's a vanilla, you walk on the ground. It has no consciousness. It has no I can see. The breeze is in this state. Because you cannot just realize that although there is land in front of it, mirror is there. Because you don't see a reflection in that mirror. You will come and it's a vanilla, you walk on the ground. It has no consciousness. It has no I can see. So I think that part should be clear now. We suspected it was from your laptop, but we didn't want to disturb the. Oh, hello. Can we continue? Okay. So I think we are all in agree with this. We are at the same platform now about the Gyan, Agyan, Sukshma Sharir, and Agyan being the cause of life and birth, which gets once we get moksha because we got rid of the Agyan, which is the causal body. So that's how we connect everything. Now coming to the deep sleep state. So let's talk in the better terminology, which is called Sushupti. Let's start using those terminologies. Jagrit, Swapna, and Sushupti. They are three states of mind. And in Sushupti, what is happening? The buddhi is going into an inert form. Whenever we wake up from deep sleep called Sushupti, we say, Bahut sukh se soya. Oh, what was that sukh? We always say that. And pata bhi nahi chala kya hua. What happened, we don't know. These are the two things which happen. So sukh at that state was the Atma Sukh. Is always the Atma. Actually, Sukh is always the Atma Sukh. There is no other Sukh. Number one, to remember. So at that state, during Sushupti, the Sukh is that Atmic state. The problem is at that point, the Buddhi was in an inert form, which cannot say. The example which comes in Vedanta is a person goes down the well looking for an ornament, goes down deep into the water. He finds the ornament, but he cannot say that he has found it. He will tell when he comes out of water. Let's take that example, how it comes in this form. That example is applied in this form. Buddhi went into the inert form. It could not express itself because it did not have the instruments to tell. When it comes out to the active state, then it has got all its instruments to express what it felt even in that inert form. It felt it. That's why it's telling when we come into Jagrat state. The Sukh was there. That Sukh was only because of the only Atma without any vikshep, without any disturbance. There was no disturbance. That's why there was that Sukh of Atmic Sukh, which was coming completely shining. Just because there was no instrument of mind to express it, mind expressed it, and when it came into Jagrat form. That explains the Sushupti ka Sukh.
So what is Jagrat, as in waking state?
Waking. So
Waking.
Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti are the three
Three
states.
states. Okay.
Jagrat is including all.
Waking.
So the way they explain is Jagrat is the state in which the stool body functions.
Okay. Yes, that's the
Su-
gross body function.
Swapan is the state in which Suksham body functions.
Yes. Yes.
Suksham, and Sushupti is the state when
Yes.
there is no functioning like this, Sirf Atma Sukh is there, which is there, but there were no instruments to express it, which we realize when we come into Jagrat state.
So because there are dormant, all our
Dormant,
instruments are dormant.
yeah.
You are
dormant,
saying we, okay.
dormant.
So, Manoj, the Turiya is the one that throughout, right?
Yeah, the
No,
Turiya
no,
is
Turiya
the
is a
fact
different,
when you know that this is
get
what
to
it
that.
is.
Sairam, we
Yeah,
will
yeah,
come to that.
yeah.
We will, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you realize that all these are the facts.
That's a whole topic in itself, Sairam. We will get to that. But yeah, please, Shankaranji, you were going to say something? Okay. Here I do have so there is one thing that transcends all these, and that is Mahakarana. What is that? Yeah, please.
So we call in the Vedantic language, there's two terminologies which come, Anvay and Vyatirek. Vyatirek is everything separate. Like in a mala, which or with beads, every bead is Vyatirek, separate, but the thread is Anvay. Anvay is constant. Thread is constant. So what they are saying is exactly the same thing in all the three states. What उमा जी had mentioned, स्वप्न में जो देखा था वो एक स्टेट थी, that was one state. जागृत में देखा वो एक अलग स्टेट है. सुषुप्ति में जो एक्सपीरियंस किया वो थर्ड स्टेट है. But what is constant throughout the three phases, which is called Anvay, which is through all the transcendental, which is the Atma Tattva, which is Atma Tattva. So which is present throughout the phases. The phases keep changing. But I am the one which stays constant, which is the Atma Tattva.
So okay, so how is that related to what we perceive as Maya? So we are saying there will be that consciousness is what you're saying is always there. It's the thread that connects all beads. So and in that with that, when there is no way to okay, so that is the I'm just
So what you want to say, I think, is, as Umaji was mentioning, whatever we
Maya.
saw, Maya,
Yeah.
so when we are awake, whatever we saw in dream was a Maya, but we have to go above this. Whatever we're seeing in the awake state is also Maya. So it's not only the dream state which is Maya, we have to go beyond it. Whatever we are seeing in the awake state, that is also Maya. And we have to reach to that level. Then we just observe and behave, but considering it all as a false, all as mirage. All,
the desert and the
everything.
water in the desert. Yes, I agree. With that piece, how is that connected then to Vairagya? Vairagya is detachment, right? So all of these things, all these three states are supposed to make us realize that we are not this neti principle of that we are not this at
Okay,
this point.
So, Sairam, so
Yes.
I want to go in the reverse order. So let's go. We are in a deep sleep.
Okay.
We don't realize it. Mind is shut down. Senses are shut down. But then we realize that we were still existing. Let's say we were existing because when we wake up, we said, "Oh yeah, I'm still here." So then you go to the dream state. Then you see things, okay, and then you wake up and say, "Oh, that was just a dream." So it just existed, probably for a short period of time. Then we come to the waking moment, and then we say, "Oh, these are the real things." That's what we think. So these are the real things. And now, if you go extend it to one step further, then you say, "I'm supposed to have gone through millions of births, thousands of births, or millions of births. Right? So what? Each time I saw something different, must have, right? If that's true, I must have seen something. I don't remember it now. So how is that not very different from a dream state?" So,
So having
because-
multiple births is also
Yeah,
like,
is also, that is what Vedanta is trying to tell you, that, you are now carrying all these karma with you, and that lets you come back again and try to experience it. So multiple births, you're going to experience different things. That is also like a dream. That's what, it's coming down to.
okay. That
That is
kind
where that Maya comes.
Maya comes in. Yeah. Nicely put, Sairam. I was just asking how is Vairagya related to, but he actually went the other way around.
So Vairagya is that realize this. So this is what it is. And in that case, we will not have that attachment to the objects that you see here, because in this life, I am seeing this object. That's why, Swami talks, starts off with death as, usually, you won't, insist on that, but death is the fact, So you have to remember that this is one of the lives. So, so this is one of the dreams, but except that it has got all our senses are active. That's all.
Yeah, Sairam. So now my other, I was just reading about this. So Bhagavad Gita defines Maya as the energy that causes illusion and that causes superimposition. So what is the difference between the two? Right? For me, illusion is the superimposition. I don't know. I mean, I never even thought about it that way until I kind of, I was like, okay, how is that so different? And why is that? Because even when we had our Gita Vahini, Anil Kumar, um, I'm sorry. Ashok uncle also said the same thing. He said Maya has two ways to express itself. One is through illusion, and the other one is superimposition. And he had a little diagram about it.
I don't remember the diagram, but yes, the illusion, the superimposition is the classic example of the rope and the snake. See,
So that is the illusion.
yes,
The illusion
the
is
illusion,
that we think the snake, the rope is the snake.
right.
What is
See,
superimposition?
Maya has two powers, right? One is the veiling power, that is the avarana. Another one is the projection, that is the superimposition is the projection. So it is hiding the rope. Not only that, it is projecting that it is a snake. There are two things are happening there. When you look at the rope, you don't know it is a rope. You think it is a snake. So it is hiding the fact it is a rope. Also, it is telling you it is a snake. So those two are the power of Maya. So that is the illusion and the superimposition, which makes the unreal as the real.
Yeah.
There is
So-
no existence of the snake on the rope, but it is making you think that it is so. Then
Yeah.
we get scared.
So Maya can be defined one way like illusion. Sometimes, if people ask what is the meaning of Maya, the closest that you immediately come back and say illusion. Then when you think about illusion, what is illusion? Illusion is more or less like imagination. So in this case, it's actually defining the two. Okay, you can say Maya is an imagination, Maya is an illusion, but that's what here it is. They are different. So that's what you have mistaken the snake or the rope for a snake, but the snake didn't exist at all in that whole scenario. But we are still talking about the snake which did not exist because we had only a rope. And so that is what is superimposition mean. What did not exist, you have added a value to that.
Yeah, see, the way I understand is because you know how a snake looks, that's when the rope is able to superimpose and project that as a snake. Suppose if you had not seen a snake at all, and you see that rope, then it is just an illusion. It can project that it is not a rope. It can say that it is something else. That is, it will stop there. But because you know how a snake looks, the Maya is able to superimpose that snake on that rope because it looks like a snake. So that's what I think.
No, the reason, no. So what Umaji is mentioning, that is an example. Let's not take it it is just an example what she has mentioned. Uh, Definitely it is the illusion, number one, and superimposition will definitely come because of our purva sanskar. You're right. So, the illusion is something which is not there, it's getting visible to us. Number one. Superimposition, the example is the biggest example is that we are not this body, we are Atman. That is the superimposition. That's what we have started. Everyone thinks this is Manoj, this is Manoj, which is wrong. We are the Atman. This is the biggest superimposition. We have started to think this body is me. Number one, that is the physical appearance thing. Number two, the karta bhoktapan is not in me because my original thing is that Atman. Atman doesn't have karta bhoktapan. The Sharir has karta bhoktapan. So all this is superimpositions, forms of superimpositions. So is that
Right.
clear?
Yeah. See, Maya, it obscures the truth that it is Brahman. It is, right? And the same way, Maya projects what Manojji said, the world as the real thing, our body, mind, and
So-
what we see. See, that is the projecting power. And they say that Avarana Shakti, that veiling power of Maya is more destructive than the projecting power, because that is where that ignorance comes. It covers, we don't know. So that is the hard part, was to think.
So, last one, which I. So, smoke is generated from the fire and it hides the fire. That is the biggest example Vedantic give is that the Maya is generated from Brahman and it's covering Brahman. Is showing itself in so many forms, but actual Brahman is kind of hidden behind it.
Yeah, but so when we are talking, so my other, so we are basically saying there is no way to, even during our causal state, we are still in the power of Maya. We are still grasped under the power of Maya. There is no way we are rid of it even at that stage.
That is the only difference between Sushupti and the Turiya. We'll come to that at some stage, which
Yeah.
Venkatji was trying to mention. In Sushupti, Buddhi gets Vilay into Agyan. With Samadhi and Turiya Avastha, it is all, all in the Gyan state. That is a bigger chapter. So what he is mentioning is exactly the same state, except for this is Agyan in the Sushupti state, and in Turiya and Samadhi, it's all Gyan only.
No, so, okay. So all this time, when we were talking about the three states of waking, dream, and deep sleep, we always said that deep sleep is the closest you get to realization. Isn't that what we said? We said that is the closest to what we can recognize our true self, because there is no reflection, basically, because our body is not present. But we are still saying that Maya is still there. It's just dormant. That's all. That is the piece that is
So
confusing.
Maya
right?
will
Because Maya
always
will
be there.
all the
Let's
time.
understand. Maya will always be there. We just have to understand. We just have to understand and realize. We don't have to remove Maya. We don't have to remove Agyan. We have to realize. That is the whole part. We cannot remove Maya because Maya is Brahman's power. We cannot fight. We just have
Yeah.
to realize and understand it. That's it we have to do.
Yeah. See, Maya, you don't want to get rid of Maya, because you have to use Maya to transcend this world. Okay, it is like the example we keep talking about, a thorn, removing a thorn. So Maya is needed. Maya is not bad, okay? Maya has two types of Maya I mentioned last time also, right?
But we
So
didn't get
understand that,
yeah.
yeah. See, Maya is Vidya Maya and Avidya Maya. So Avidya Maya is, ignorance, okay? Not only ignorance, it represents selfishness, greediness, and all that negative qualities, anger, all are avidya maya. So vidya maya, that is where the viveka vairagya come in. Vidya maya, we have to use the vidya maya, which is um, um, strong inclination towards spirituality, truthfulness, and they lead a dharmic life. So all this we need Maya. That Vidya Maya is the one taking us. Okay, so you cannot remove Maya and live a life in this world.
I
So
want
you
to,
use that
I want to give
Vidya
a,
Maya to realize Brahman. Yeah.
I want to give a little bit my own interpretation of what Maya is like. We all know, let me give you two examples. We see so many colors in the world. There are only, rainbow comes with 7 colors, and you mix all those colors, and then you say there are so many hues, so many colors, and each day, and the computer, they go back, and then, nowadays it is 64 bit, so they're all 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. The combinations of 0, 1s gives you any number of, they say million, infinite number of colors. So do infinite number of colors exist? We know for sure, understanding that it is the 7 that have become the million. So that's what Maya does, taking the original and then mixing it up. Now let's look at this room. So we are so many of us here, sitting here. We are all composed, God has actually taken the same elements, same structure. We are all composed of the same structure. And yet, each one is looking different. Each one has got different characteristics and mind and everything. So that is the power of Maya. It is the same ingredients which have been put together to different combinations, gives you a different form, different shape. And that is what they are trying to say. It's all the same thing, but it is projected in different ways. So don't look at that projection. That's what this whole thing is about. Saya.
Saira.
See, Maya is very complicated, okay? It is a very heavy duty stuff to understand, but we can make it easy to understand. In a way, Maya, Vivekananda says it's not a theory or something to explain. It is the life, the way of life. That Maya is simply, you say, what we see in everyday life. See, I gave some examples last week, like I didn't give this one, I can talk about this one. Like a mother, a father, mostly mother, so attached to the child. Even when he grows up and there are some situations are there, they abuse, the children abuse the parents. We hear it on TV or in real life also. But even then, the mother cannot let go of the child. The attachment, it is the Maya. Vivekananda says, no matter what, that attachment, that illusion that this is my life with my child, that is an illusion. Also, he says we come into this life with we are not a blank slate. We come with our karmas, right? Samsaras. And we are happy when we were young, and then we grow old. Some are even happy at old age also, or maybe bitter, or have regrets. But no matter what, you were victorious or you were defeated in life, everybody has to die one day. It's a bleak thing. So this is Maya, he says, So Maya is a statement. It is not a statement. It is the way of the paradoxical nature of life and the contradiction in our life. We say that. I said that, like we chase happiness, at the same time we get sorrow, misery also, Yet we keep trying this, like the moth keep on going to the fire and gets burned, he says, swept away. So these are the Maya. We don't have to talk about high philosophical, not understanding Vedanta or anything, but a simple, everyday life, knowingly we repeatedly do the same thing over and over, and we expect a different result. Nothing changes. That is Maya.
So under the whole renunciation piece, Swami says that this realization to lead us to detachment, basically. Then we go back into how to do that because
Easy in the sense, you detach from all the negative things, right? From all this avidya, right? We talked about. We can turn towards inside. See, we keep on going outwards. Okay, we want happiness from outside, happiness from this person, that person, this event. If I get a better job, I'll be happy. We keep going outwards. You turn around, go inwards. Vanaji is smiling. So that is where that is
I
how we can get happiness.
Sorry, this went to the conversation. Amit, myself, Bhavani, and my wife were talking about buying a Tesla car.
Yeah.
And I would like to explore the technology, what are the latest things. Of course, we got a demonstration from Jay Bhai.
Yeah.
So after that, that is a desire, what the discussion came out. And the desire means there is no end for that. After that, again, you may want to explore something else in the technology.
Better
So,
model will come.
Yeah,
See, these are temporary
And
happiness.
once you buy, then automatically you get out of that Maya.
No,
That
the
is
other
true.
one will trap. A better
That is
model
true.
will come, you
That
will
is
be
not
upset.
always true, because when you buy, you got to be Jay to say, okay, this is it. I'm not doing
That's
anymore.
what he did say.
But that
Actually, he
does
was driving like a
But that
regular
may
car.
not be Bhanuji, because each one of us has a different mindset, right? So when you have this, then you want something else, because there will be a next model.
Yeah.
The desire, I get that. I don't know how Maya impacts that desire. It is our own self, because of our own, the way we are built. I don't know.
That is the
Yeah,
Maya.
that is Maya,
That is
actually.
Maya.
So that is why I have to renunciate
She
that
has to ask
desire
better
and
questions, I think.
keep
See,
quiet. Thank you.
Okay, no,
confused.
compare, see, when we have seen like great beings like Baba himself or Sai Baba, Shirdi Baba, Vivekananda, they're all taking the same births like us, human births. Why are they like that? Why are we like this? That is the thing. They use that intelligence, that Viveka, Vairagya to get to that point. So the opportunity is there for all of us to do it. We are talking, yeah, we are still in the desire mode. So we'll always be like this. You want to take yourself to the next level, you can. That possibility is there. So that's all. Use it. If you want, use it and get there. If not, fine. That's also fine.
See, Tesla, then Elon Musk must be the happiest guy in the world, most satisfied, the best, right? But the money and things never bring happiness. Always there is a shadow there, right? And the unhappiness is always there. Like Ramakrishna Paramasa said, it's like a rheumatoid arthritis. You chase from one knee to the other. You get
Yeah.
happiness here and you get a
So
disappointment
that
there. That is the thing.
that I totally, but the concept of Maya is everywhere. That's all I'm going to end with this.
Before the end, I want to say thanks to all of the discussion now, because this renunciation, definitely, I should not have even thought about that. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So the next one, I just want to move on from Maya to the next thing, what Swami is talking about. But if anyone has anything to add, please feel free.
I was just saying that I liked how Uma explained it. Sorry, because the earlier part was a little too heavy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I agree.
So it was way off.
Yeah.
So you kind of brought it in and made it very simple and elementary, because
Yeah.
it kind of went from
What is Maya to
from kindergarten to PhD
Yeah.
in like 10 minutes, and I was completely confused. But thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I see that there are some of them who actually understood the whole concept of it. Some of us, I go all around, come back. Where is Maya?
I would like
Oh,
to summarize.
Yes, please go ahead, Manoj.
So summarize is, so even for Vairagya, what Swami
Yeah.
is trying to mention for the detachment, the Vedanta explains it in a simpler form. Start looking from outside to inside. ये स्थूल शरीर मैं नहीं हूं, आई एम नॉट दिस स्थूल शरीर.
I am not the Karam Indri. I
Correct.
am not the Gyan Indri. So starting from outside. So I am not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, and
Yeah.
I'm not the Agyan.
Yeah, I'm not
So
the,
I'm not the Sthul Shri, I'm not the Karan Shri, I'm not the causal Shri, the
Yeah.
Agyan. That
Yeah.
is the causal body. So by repeatedly revising and stating to ourselves and reprogramming of our mind,
Right.
we will understand that will create vairagya.
Yeah.
So that we are not will start running after the gyan indriya. Oh, this view is so beautiful. This car is so beautiful. All so that
Yeah.
will create repeatedly repeat programming to the default. Coming back to the original. No, I am Atman. I am Atman. Repeated training of the mind is the only way of detachment. There is no other way of detachment.
Right.
Repeat programming.
I want to also add here that this step is huge. Okay, I mean, we all understand it. I think we all understand it very well.
Yeah.
But this step, moving from there to this detachment, renunciation,
Mhm.
can take hundreds of thousands of lives.
Right.
Okay, it is.
Mhm.
We are making progress. We probably thousands of lives ago we didn't even think of such thing,
Right.
and then we are now making progress.
Yeah.
But it could be a snap before you go from this to that. But
No, yeah.
Well, so when we think about it, we can actually get very disappointed as
Yeah.
we meditate and say, "What is I'm not making any progress,"
Mhm.
But you'll have to go actually. Sarvapananda says you have to go backwards.
Right.
You have to go and say, "Okay, let me control my mind, let me control my actions, let me make sure I'm doing more namasmarana and all this." So that's the only way. You'll have to sometimes go back to make this forward progress.
Absolutely.
What he is saying is so correct. That's why we have to go back to the Nam Smarana, to the Jap, because those are the pre-qualifications of studying Vedanta.
Right.
That's why we have to go back. If maybe we're not qualified yet to understand, so what do? Go back and do that Nam Jap, Smaran, all the 6 qualities which we always talk. We have to go through
Yeah.
that process. The first chapter of Vedanta always says, come with these 6 qualities, otherwise you will not understand it.
Yes.
So that's what is the
Yeah.
beginning of,
Yeah, please go ahead, Shobha.
This all may seem very heavy for young people and, who are not still thinking of those things. But someone asked Sarvapriyananda one time, if I don't have any desires, there's no progress in this world. We can't have discoveries and all this because that all arises from some kind of desire to invent something, discover something, or all that, right? So that's also fine, he said. He said, make it for the good of the mankind, not for your own selfish. The desire is shouldn't be I am going to do this to get rich and have all these things. I'm going to do this for the better of the human race, or for some, to benefit everyone. If your underlying desire is that, it's totally fine because you will not get too attached to it. So that's, you can also think like that. So yeah, go on with your life. You want to do this, that, discover science, that's also totally fine, but keep that as that, the right type
That
of
is
desire.
Oppenheimer who got that atom bomb. Then he regretted it, it seems, that he also read Bhagavad Gita and Indian, scriptures. And he said, what have I done? That, I don't know if they show that in the movie, but I didn't watch the movie, but I have read about this. That is for distraction, right? All his knowledge, all his education, all his inventive desires, where did it lead to? So we cannot say, oh, I'm doing it for the world's sake, desire. Yes, you might be, but then you have to think things through. Well, what is it? Who is it benefiting? Is it good for the humankind, right? All desires are not leading to the happiness of the world,
Good.
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sairam, I think that's a very good point, Shobhaji. I think especially a lot of youngsters here. So that is the real message, that, yes, you pursue your goals, but make sure that, it is benefiting not just you, benefiting the people. And most certainly, even if it benefits only you, it should not cause harm to others. I mean, that is
Correct.
what Swami says.
Yeah. Okay. I think with that, we can move on. Yeah, I know we only have 5 minutes, but I just wanted to leave with this because Swami is now moving on to describe about how we are just puppets. He says. So, do you want to read it, Om or Bhargav? Can you read it because you have only 5 minutes? So. Go ahead, Om.
We might have learned a lot, acquired many things. We might have enjoyed many things. Where are they now? What has happened to them? Why did we part with them? What benefit did we derive from them? When we inquire into these matters, we will realize that the things we enjoy, the individuals with whom we associated, and the experiences we had are like figures of puppets on a screen. They're like clouds that come and go. We must seek to know the basic truth about the human condition. If you take a vessel with water and pour it into the ocean, you cannot recover that water again. If smoke goes up in the sky, it cannot be collected again. An apple that has been eaten and digested cannot be got back. But the stuff in the mind cannot be merged in an ocean or sent up to the sky or consumed as food. The workings of the mind cannot be eliminated by these processes.
Right. And he goes on to talk about controlling of the mind. So I thought we'll have the discussion on why he refers to us as puppets before we go on to how we can, how we should practice the control of mind. Of course, we talked about control of desires and everything, but basically I think next week we will talk about the power of the mind and the intellect, because that is where we talked about so many different things right now, the gross body and the stool, the subtle ones as well. So all of those actually fall under our subtleness of our mind and our intellect. So with that, I would like to actually end today's session. I know we still have 4 minutes, but this is what we had planned for today. If there is anyone who would like to add something or have a question, this would be a great platform to open up. Young kids, Sai Bhavana is here, and I know all of them have already experienced quite a bit of of things in college. So with all of that, if there is any questions on how or what, we have a platform here. Thank you. Not to put you guys on the spot. It's just you're my favorite students. I taught you. Yes. I didn't ask Bhargav because he has been an active participant throughout. Yeah. Yep, he has been. So the life application, again, I have not changed anything. It's to bring awareness to the moment. If you can watch your breath, watch your thoughts, whatever it is that you think would be a good practice to keep yourself grounded for the day. I think that is something that we can all take away from this discussion. So with that, I'd like to end with Om and three Shantis. Oh, yes. Also, I have to say that tomorrow we are continuing the discussion on renunciation again. And tomorrow, thank you, Uma. Yeah, because I was going to say that. Anyway, so we can end with Om and three Shantis. Thank you, Sairam. Om Shanta Shanta Shanti. Sairam, thank you all for your participation today.